Alright everyone, so this video is going to go over the last question on the quiz from Friday. And in this one we gave you the graph and you had to take the information from it, so no graphing yourself. First of all, here's our parabola. Bottom here should be the vertex, okay, kind of the lowest point of the graph, which means the axis of symmetry should be going right through that. Now some of you are able to graph this line, which is good, that is where the axis of symmetry is, but you do need to be able to label it correctly. It's not 4, 1, okay, that's the vertex, okay, but the axis of symmetry is this whole line itself. It cuts through positive 4, but that is not the answer. You still have to include that it is x equals negative 4 because it's cutting through the x-axis at negative 4. So kind of be aware of that, that is cutting through 4 at that point. That's what makes it that line. The domain, we talked about that it's the same exact thing for every single parabola we're going to talk about. So if you got it wrong, it was probably because you didn't pay attention and take the time to memorize it, to be perfectly honest. Domain is from left to right on the graph. You really need to pay attention to the fact that these have arrows as well. I tried to make those bigger on the quiz. Because it's got arrows, that means that this is continually going to the left and up forever and ever. Now, domain is all the x values. So, in other words, I have 3, 2, 2, 5, 1, something up there, 0 something. No matter what, I can go this way forever and ever and ever on the x-axis. There will always be every x value, something on the graph. So on the left-hand side, it's negative infinity. And then on the right-hand side, that's what this bar means. And you can even draw them in like this. Okay? Where it hits the graph, there's another arrow on this side. So that means every x value this way is going to get used. So it's another infinity on that side. That's what that domain is referring to. And we told you guys in class over and over that domain is always, 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 always going to be negative infinity, positive infinity. And you do really need to make sure you have those parentheses there to make it correct. Range, on the other hand, is top to bottom, or bottom to top, because it's the y values. So down here, I have a y value of negative 1, but there's no negative 1 point down here, so that's not the bottom of my range. Neither is 0. 1 is where the lowest y value possible is. Okay, and I can even draw that line through there. So positive 1 is the bottom of the range, and then I can go up, 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 up forever because there's always going to be a point on every single y value. So positive infinity is the top of the range. That's the biggest y value I can get. All right, now we did fairly well on that section, but the increase decrease is where we had a lot of mistakes we saw. Okay, now remember, this is our dividing line right here. Think of this whole graph as a diver jumping into a pool. Okay, if you got a diving board here and somebody jumps off, they dive into the water and they go down, and then at some point they start resurfacing like that. Kind of looks like a parabola like this one. Now we always go left to right on a graph, kind of like how you read a book. So if I'm the diver and I'm jumping off here and I'm jumping this way, well, what's the slope of my dive? Is it a positive slope or a negative slope? Am I going up or down? Okay, well, from this first part, I'm going down here. I know that there's arrows pointing up, but really I'm diving into the water, so it is a decrease in this whole section over here. Okay, this whole left side of the graph, that's a decrease. I know that there's an arrow pointing up, but that just means it's decreasing forever and ever this way. So the left-hand side of the decrease is negative infinity. It's starting all the way back over here, and it's decreasing all the way to this point right here. Okay, and decrease and increase is all x values. We don't really care about the y values like range. So I'm going to put x here and here, and I'm going to put left side and right side so I kind of know. Okay, and right here it stops at 4. And I gotta put a bracket there, kind of like I did here, because it's a number. It's a solid, concrete number. Infinity is not a number. It's just kind of an idea, a concept, so we put parentheses there. if I stop decreasing here, I have to start increasing this way. Kind of like right here, he's going up to the surface of the water. So I stop decreasing at 4, which means I start increasing at 4. Put that in black so you guys can see. And it keeps going forever and ever this way, all the way into positive infinity. It's going to keep going up, 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 up forever. So it's positive infinity like that. And you should see that increase and decrease cover every single number. Negative infinity, 4. 4, positive infinity. So everything in between negative infinity to positive infinity is covered between these two things. All right? So those are the answers for that one. If you don't understand something, raise your hand and ask. We'll try and go over it again with you, see if we can clear up any misunderstandings. You need to ask if you're not sure about something, but hopefully this at least gets you started and helps.